pumpkin cheesecake. I thought it was appropriate.
It's a great idea.
And I love cheesecake. So every year I'm asked to make this cheesecake for Thanksgiving dinners that I may go to. Sometimes I go to 3. So I make probably 4 for Thanksgiving, and then throughout the year I'll make some every couple of months just because somebody's craving it. So that's kind of my experience with making the cheesecake. Who knows what the most important step is before baking? Preheating the oven. Most people don't get that part. I always forget to do it until I'm halfway into getting all my stuff ready. So you want to preheat the oven into 325 degrees, and I would say do that before you even start getting all of your supplies or all of your ingredients together. And you'll want to give yourself a minimum of 4 hours between the time your cheesecake is going to be done and when you're going to be going to the dinner. I try to make mine the night before because the longer that it sits in the fridge, the best it is, and it won't be too mushy. And then you'll want to gather a mixing bowl, measuring spoons, and measuring cups. I use a mixer sometimes, most of the time, but because you're using cream cheese, it kind of either just will all go into the mixer or it splatters all over me. So for one cheesecake, you'll use 2 packages of cream cheese, confectioner's sugar, which is powdered sugar, and I didn't know that at first. I had to Google it. Vanilla extract, 2 eggs. You can use the prepared graham cracker crust that you can buy at the store, or you can make your own. Pumpkin puree, ground cinnamon, ground cloves, ground nutmeg, and Cool Whip for the top. So when you're mixing the ingredients, you first want to combine the cream cheese, the sugar, and the vanilla, and then you beat that together until it's smooth and soft, and then you put the eggs in one at a time. So you'll put 1 egg in, blend it, and then the second egg in and blend it. And then you take 1 cup of that blended batter out and put it in your crust. And then you set that aside, and then you add the pumpkin, the cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg to the remaining batter. Or I found actually a tip for that. On marthastewart.com, their tip was to use the already seasoned pumpkin pie filling instead of the puree, so that if you don't want to use all the separate ingredients and seasonings, you can use that. Or they also have a pumpkin pie seasoning that you can just add that has them all together. So then you'll put what's remaining on top of just the cream cheese batter that you made. And then once it's all put together, you just bake it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes or until the middle is set, and then allow it to cool. And then once it's cooled, you put it in the fridge for 3 hours or overnight. It takes probably about 15 minutes or so to put it all together. It's really easy. And then you can either cover the entire cheesecake with the Cool Whip before you serve it, or I like to put it on the side and just dip it and eat some plain, eat some with the Cool Whip. And on the foodandwine.com website, they had suggested a pecan praline topping, which I haven't tried, but I thought that it sounded good on top of there.
I'm hungry.
So making a good cheesecake doesn't mean that you're going to have to spend countless hours in the kitchen. Like I said, it probably takes 10 to 15 minutes to put it all together, and then the 35 to 40 minutes in the oven, and then just taking it out. So it's really not a lot of work. And then you just have to be careful that, because when people like it, they're just going to ask you to make it all the time. So that's pretty much all the information on it. That's how easy it is. Does anyone have any questions on how to make a pumpkin cheesecake? Okay, well, you guys will just have to eat it when you make it.
Okay.